Climate change, carbon emissions, water pollution, blah blah blah. We hear about these things every day, but before you pull out your phones and ignore me, just hear me out. I'm here in front of you today to apologize, not to tell you how to live your lives. I apologize for the people that have given this problem a negative connotation rather than giving it the feeling of a need of action. I apologize for being a part of the very reason that we are gathered here today. But most of all, I apologize for having allowed a simple yet overly complicated problem to stretch this far. As you have heard, the simple answer to everything climate change is to stop. To stop using cars, to stop flying in airplanes, to stop using plastics. But it's obviously not that easy. If it were that easy, it would be perfect, I would be pleased, and people would be playing in every place. I drove here today in a car. I flew on an airplane within the past month. The water bottle I carry with me throughout my day is made of plastic. These things are convenient, so why not use them? That's what differentiates me from most environmental speakers. I propose to you, the people, that you absolutely do not have to eliminate the use of these things. But I do propose the conscious decision to use them in moderation. To find new ways, not eliminating old ways. To improve our ways by finding new ways to improve. Stay with me now as I give you a few statistics that will allow the community of scholarly critics to see my scientific relevance. CO2 emissions have risen by 100 parts per million since 1950. In that same span of time, the average temperature has risen around 1 degree Celsius. Because of this, as you already know, the ice caps are melting, the ocean levels are rising, and ecosystems are dying. People don't want to address it because they don't believe it, but because they don't address it, they won't believe it. Some blame it on industry, others on themselves, I on the population as a whole. I hate to be a bother, but we as a population of this earth have brought upon ourselves a greatly terrible crisis in which the winds of change will either blow us away or will force us to adapt to our new situation. I hope that you can see now that I don't want to be like those other guys who talk as if they're all high and mighty and walk around like they know everything. I'm just a normal guy who wants to provide a safer future for my kids and their kids and so forth. I have a few reasons for you to try out my theory of moderation, as I like to call it. Reason number 1, polar bears. Bear with me now as I talk about these beautiful beings. I don't know about you, but I absolutely adore polar bears, even more so when I was a little kid. They are cute and fuzzy, and they look like a white version of the teddy bear I know each and every one of you still sleeps with at night. As you know, polar bears are going extinct. In the warmer months, they hunt for seals on sea ice, but with this sea ice melting, they are running out of these places to hunt. However, if polar bears go extinct, the trauma won't stop there. Because they're a keystone species, the entire ecosystem will be thrown off balance. Scavengers such as the Arctic fox and the snowy owl depend on kills made by polar bears. And without them, they'll starve. Bam! It's as simple as that. Entire ecosystems will be thrown off kilter and die. But why should you care? It's not like you will die if the polar bear does. However, how would you feel if your kids couldn't see a live polar bear at the zoo, even though you had a chance to possibly help the species hang on a little bit longer? Now I have my second reason. Food. If you don't like food, you're crazy, and I don't think anyone would cross me on that one. One of my favorite foods in the world is corn. It can be straight off the cob, out of a can, or in a specific dish. It absolutely does not matter to me which. The only problem is that corn is becoming more and more expensive, and climate change is to blame. Not only corn is being decimated by crop failure due to climate change, but also soy and wheat. Riots are breaking out because people are starving and they want their food. Some believe that the reason we have so much in this world is because we feel we have so little in other places. However, I believe the contrary. I believe the reason we have so little now is because we have felt as if there was so much before. Also, if we continue to overuse the diminishing amount of fertile land we have, all land will soon enough be labeled as useless due to overuse. It used to be that there was a lot of food and minimal people, but now there are a lot of people and minimal food, mostly due to climate change. People realize that when they hold food, they also hold the power of the world. Because of this, I can't say that I blame them for fighting in their fun circumstances. But I think that they need to be trying to find a solution rather than exacerbating the problem by using blunt force to get what they want. Now, if I was like Martin Luther King Jr. or JFK, a rhetoric master, I would provide a call to action at this point in my speech. However, I feel I don't need to. I believe you as my audience have heard my reasons and have a complete understanding of both climate change and the theory of moderation. I just can't undermine the need of your help to bring this world back into balance. It relies on you. It thrives on you. It is you. You have the power to change this world to what it needs to be, because it does not take the words of millions of people, but the words of a few and the actions of their followers. I volunteer to be one of these leaders who will hold the torch and the responsibility associated with rehabilitating this world. This world needs a healer.